Hi, it's Lauren. I know, video in 2 days and 2 videos 2 days. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a long one and maybe a little confusing. I know I did a video on this a few years ago. It was very jumbled and I was sick and I felt like shit. And I was doing a puzzle at the time. I'm still learning how to use it, and I'm, again, using my boyfriend's computer, so, you know, whatever. Why I'm not a feminist and my road to anti-feminism. So, I mean, I'm 21, I'm almost 22, my birthday's July 19th, so if you guys want to send me gifts, yay, please do. I'll find a way for you to send me gifts for my 18 subscribers. So, just to start, let's just get this out of the way. Not all. Not all. I know that. So the rest of the video, I'm not going to say not all, well, I'll try not to, but I hope you know what I mean when I talk about feminists, especially third-wave feminists. It's really important to know that, and I might get some facts wrong, and if I do, please correct me. I'll try to put my sources down below. And if need be, you know, correct me. I'm open to criticism, comments, things like that. I want to learn more. That's pretty much why I'm, you know, in school, to learn more. So, yeah, here we go. It really, for me, sorry, if you hear the fan in the background, it's hot in my boyfriend's room, so I have to have the fan on, so if you hear it in the background, I'm sorry. Okay. My journey started when I was in 11th grade. My history teacher actually had us read The People's History of America by Howard Zinn, and I really liked it. But when he talked about feminism during the 60s, and I just kind of thought like, oh, I could be a feminist, and I was like, I stood up for women's rights and everything like that, and I wasn't crazy about it. Like, I wasn't crazy like, you know, I hate all men. And I kind of stuck with that. It was personal for me. And then I watched Anita Sarkeesian. This is hard for me to admit. I actually liked her at one point. Not a good point in my life. I thought she was right. I thought video games were sexist because I didn't like video games. It's not that even today I don't play very many games. I play more mobile games, and I did a video on that. But I thought, you know, all video games were sexist, and, you know, she was completely right, 100%. And then I was like, ooh. And then I clicked on Mr. Epsilon's video. Thank you, Mr. Epsilon, for showing me the light. And it was kind of criticizing her, and I was like, what? And then when I realized how bullshit it was, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? And that kind of started the ball rolling. So I still had this view of women being oppressed a little bit, but I still, you know, for me, there was a little bit of a disconnect because I kept feeling like, shouldn't we be doing something for women in the Middle East? And a lot of people were like, well, you know, it's their culture. And I'm like, I don't know, because I was very indifferent about it at the time. This was a few years ago. And then I kept watching these videos by, you know, let's just put them all in a category of pro-intellectuals. So that could be Sargon, Teal Deer, Amazing Atheist, Rageaholic, Bearing, Mr. Epsilon. The list, I will list all of all the YouTubers that I listen to on my description channel. One sec, can't stay. My boyfriend's cat is now like, I'm gonna leave the bedroom. I'm like, you idiot. One sec. You want out? Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. So my boyfriend's cat's very temperamental. So what happened was I just started watching all these videos, and then 2014, I am Jewish, and I'm a big supporter of Israel, and I'll do another video on that. The feminists I kind of associated myself with started to shit on Israel and started to say, oh, Jews are this, and, you know, they started to, not that supporting Palestine is a bad thing, but they kept supporting their government and everything, and it was just like, oh my God, you don't know what you're talking about. You're supporting a regime that is actually apartheid. Like, that's an actual apartheid regime. So, so I started to look at other people on YouTube, and I saw a big difference. They had their facts lined up. They had everything lined up. They had all of these, things to say, this is wrong, but this, this could be correct. I don't know the facts on this. So there was that. I'm not very, again, as I've said, I'm not very good with citations and numbers and recalling things. That's part of having ADD, is mental recall for certain aspects. So if I can't remember numbers or things like that, go with me on this one. You probably get the gist of what I'm saying. The idea that, so it kept going and going, and the ball kept rolling, and finally I said, this feminism thing doesn't make sense. And then I live in California. At my university, I went to a Take Back the Night event. And then I was like, they were like, we were marching through campus, take back the night, yada, yada, and then down with the patriarchy. And I was like all going crazy. This was before I watched, Mr. Epsilon. And so I was like, oh my God, the patriarchy. Look, I was an idiot. So there was that. And then a few days later, something didn't sit right. I felt like I was a victim. I'm like, what am I a victim of? Was it that I was a woman? And then I just felt like they took my autonomy away. I mean, yes, it's hard to walk at night, but for anybody, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It was all about walking to your car alone. It was like, what? And rape. I was like, okay, fuck. I mean, yeah, rape is bad. It is. There's no buts about it. But the event didn't really do much. It just kind of made me feel like shit. Because after everybody went up on stage and told their sob story, and so did I, and I felt like, oh my God, I'm so amazing. And then I'm like, what the fuck? I just told people a story about me, like they give a shit. And it just, you know what? I was like, whatever. So there was that, and then, so that happened, and then I just, the cognitive dissonance, it just didn't work. I just looked around. I was like, what am I doing? And I started to watch, I really started to watch a lot of these videos, Amazing Atheist, and I really didn't watch Sargon until like probably maybe last year, maybe a year ago. I can't really remember. I think Teal Deer I found first, and then Doomed, and so all these people I started to find, and it really opened my eyes to this whole world of logic, intellect, and just these people who were quite funny. I mean, I first watched a lot of TJ's videos and Mr. Epsilon, and I liked Jacqueline Glenn. I think I still do. Yeah, people shit on her. I guess she's a little bit of an SJW. I don't know. We all have our views. I haven't watched her in a while, so who knows? Oh, what is it like to be a woman on YouTube thing? That was fucking bullshit. I'm like, really, Jacqueline? You could have done better. And I mean, there are some things that I like about her, but as I've said before, you can like a person, but you don't have to like everything about them. It's just kind of the thing about being a human being. Anyway, so I started to, and I also watched a lot of the Young Turks, and that during the Israeli-Palestine conflict, they started to change, and they started to really shit on Israel a lot, and I was like, it felt very one-sided, and I was like, what's going on? What the fuck? So I stopped watching them. And then it turns out it was a good thing, because all of a sudden they just turned into this SJW Pornhub. I was like, what the fuck? They were just literally jacking each other off on being oppressed. And I'm like, really? Ugh. How boring and sad. That's dumb. I know, not so colorful language. But yeah, that happened, and so I was like, okay, done with that shit. I didn't really care. So anyway, that happened, and then I'm in a university, and then I took and then I'm also at a junior college, and in that I wanted to be a teacher. Now I'm not really sure what I want to do. Too many politics, again, identity politics is now in teaching. It's like fucking great. This is wonderful. I'll get into that later, but in the same video. But the idea of having the way that we respond to each other, and the way that we put our words together really does affect a lot of people. Now, fast forward to maybe a year ago. So maybe summer of 2015. That's when the ball burst. Okay, sorry. ADD kicked in again. I was talking about school. Okay. That's me. You're watching me. I'm going to go fucking crazy. No, having ADD, I lose my train of thought, and I'm like, whatever. It's also a little warm in here, but whatever. I don't do good with heat. So anyway, the class was a cultural education class. Yeah, fuck. I was like, wow. We had to read Multicultural Education. I think it was like by John Banks or some black writer. Not that it's a bad thing, but it was like, how many times can you shit on white people? And how many times can you say every minority is oppressed except for whites and Asians? And how many times can you say, wah, 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 wah? No trigger warning there. You're an ass if you got triggered by that. You're idiots. So, I was like, wow, okay. Then the most special thing we had to read, swear to God, the Peggy McIntosh article, Unpacking the White Knapsack. I was like, oh, fuck, thanks. Rubbing in the white privilege thing, just smack it on me. It's like, you really think it's like, do you think this is going to, do you think I'm going to follow this and tell my students about this? No. Because at that time, I was also observing a kindergarten class. You know what I saw? The kids with all different races. You know what I saw? The kids were like, you're my friend, and you're my friend, and you're the kid I share my lunch with. That was it. That was it. And then all of a sudden, identity politics is squeezed into education. Oh my God. So yeah, that was just stupid. And it really angered me because it made me feel like I was a perpetrator of things I had never done. My family came from Eastern Europe. We were being fucking slaughtered. But at the same time, they're going to demonize me because I'm white. It's like, if you knew I was Jewish. Oh, wait, but here's the thing. If you're Jewish, you still don't get a pass because, of course, if you're Jewish in Israel, then you're still a fucking bigot and whatever. And it's like, you can never win. And they're like, oh, all Jews are rich. Not all Jews are rich. And you know what? Here's the thing. Stereotypes come from truth. But when you talk about, and yeah, people can say things about Israel, like, I don't like them, I wish they were blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Freedom of speech, they can say it. What's stopping me? Nothing. I can't stop that. Whatever. But when it comes to anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, that's not okay. And a lot of it was also the, in the book, the Banks book, it was really bad. He really, it was like, if you have this many people, this percent, or, this many people, if they're black, they're not likely. Well, here's also the thing is, why I'm not a Republican. In a way, I lean to the left and I lean to the right. I'm more of a centrist. I'm more of a libertarian. But with it, just to me, I never see color. I took those words that Martin Luther King said, judge people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. I never really thought that. I never saw a point, ever. Sorry, I'm going to open the chat a little bit just to see if anybody's in the chat already. But it just felt like this idea that, oh, because you're white, you have this idea of, you're privileged. Okay, I'm privileged. Fuck, I guess, whatever. But, I don't see people based on their skin color. I never have. It's not something that I think is pertinent in any conversation. 1 second, I have to get the battery pack for the computer. Oh, come on. Sorry, I have to now move it. Okay, there we go. Nice shot. Okay, just kidding. All right, back to business. Sorry, I had to charge his computer because I'm recording and plugged into it. Okay, good. It's not my computer; it's my boyfriend's. So that's why the quality of the videos is a lot better than when I was fucking doing these things on a shitty laptop. Anyway, I was, where was I? Shit. Right. Okay, so the white privilege thing. And then people telling me, oh, check your privilege. Especially on a university campus, it makes no sense because aren't you privileged to be here? So, and that's also when I started watching Sargon of Akkad, Teal Deer, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And on some more. So, yeah, that's always fun. But who the hell knows? Whatever. It just so happens to, whatever. So there's that. I just never really, liked being, I never liked that whole, check your privilege, because what does it mean? What does that mean? That's just a way to shut me down. You've never heard any of my arguments. You don't know what I'm saying. So why would you say that? It's not as if I'm the enemy. I'm not, but at the same time, people don't want to hear reason and logic. Again, this does feed into the idea of feminists and SJWs because it stemmed from feminism, this third wave feminism. So I want to talk about that now. And I know it's been dealt with multiple times on multiple videos, but fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to mention people, so yes. Okay. First, I want to mention Sargon of Akkad. He's the one who really opened my eyes to this anti-feminism thing, and especially on universities. It's not as bad on my campus where I am, but other places, it's bad. Like, you've probably heard, Mizzou. So let's just start with Missouri. I mean, that fucking laid as shit on that one. You all know the story. But as I said in my last video, my grandmother graduated from Missouri in 1950. I wonder how that makes her, if she was alive, I wonder how that would make her feel to see these kids acting like depraved lunatics. I'm thinking, what? You know, I just feel like you're just like, really? My father, who is a Republican, he was like, no, I can see why people are pulling, I can see why people are pulling their kids out of the school, because they don't want them to do that. And, Melissa Click, I need more muscle. It's like, really? You're an idiot. I'm glad she got fired. I am, because that was so wrong of her to do. There's the idea that you just, you just like, you start, fucking with people like, oh, I'm just, I'm gonna do this, and I don't care because I'm oppressed, and it's like, you're on a university campus, bitch. You're not fucking oppressed. Go just jump off a cliff like a lemming. Like, fuck you. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't care. But I'm just tired of it, after having this idea of, if you just do certain things, you can get away with it if you're a certain identity. Now, I could say feminist to me kind of just encompasses in SJW. So I could really say why I'm not an SJW, for fuck's sake. I mean, that's a story. And now, I'm telling you the reasons and everything, but still, the idea of, shouting people down, like, the Trigglypuff incident. Oh my God, that was freaking funny. Just the Steven Crowder thing. Just, let me see if I can, I don't know how to use this, so it'll be a little messy, but I'll keep talking while I'm looking for the thing that I'm looking for. It is really, really funny. So you just look at people and they're just like, oh my God, and I'm like, so you have the, so funny, I love it. He does this like remix, it's freaking hilarious. Oh God, this one. Here, let me get the screen share ready. It's really funny if you haven't seen it. Here. It's this one. Share. Okay. Here. It's the Trigglypuff. Here. I love this part. It's so funny. Get triggered. This brand is monster. Oh, I love this. It's so funny. Oh my God. If it doesn't show up or something, just whatever. It's funny. That's not going to happen. Okay. So, anyway, I'm gonna exit out of that. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna get back to screen sharing. Let me, okay, yeah, there. All right. All right, there we go. I hope you saw that or whatever. If you didn't or just heard it, the visuals are fun, but you can look it up. I'll put it in the description. It's funny. So I'm not really exactly sure how to use the Google Hangout yet. So I might make a few mistakes here and there, but whatever. Fuck it. I just wanted to share a little something funny. I mean, the thing with like Christina Hoff Sommers, I love her. And anyway, part 2 will be coming because my boyfriend's here. Bye.